Hello, my name is Ray Ellen Sievert. I am the resident astrologer for Lightbody Academy. Well, we have quite a week ahead of us, and it's very exciting, but it's also going to be another week of reviewing our lives. A few weeks ago, we talked about Neptune retrograding back to the 29th degree of Pisces. And then we talked about we are clearing out our lives, our shadows, anything that's not conducive to who we are, so that we can bring us to a level of 0 point. And 0 point is a brand new beginning, which humanity has the opportunity to achieve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you now this chart and show what's happening in the sky at this time. Now, Uranus just retrograded back into the sign 29 degrees Taurus. And that is very, very, very significant. It means Uranus is the planet of disruption, sudden changes, innovation, unpredictability. And since 2018, it has been shattering everything in our lives that does not align with something that gives us a sense of self-worth. So many people have been losing things, been losing parts of their lives or relationships or jobs. And many people lost jobs during 2020. And now we have this government shutdown, all of that. I mean, it's happening just so that we can decide what is really, really, really important to us and what to achieve. So Uranus going back into this degree is shaking up more of what we value and not relying outside of ourselves to tell us who we are and what we need to be important or what we need to tell us who we are. It's all about our self-worth. So the 29th degree of Taurus and retrograding, and this retrograde will be in place and be complete by April of next year. The 29th degree of Taurus is also important in another sense. It's conjunct the fixed star of Alcyone. Alcyone is our ancient cosmic library. It's located in the Pleiades. And through meditation and reflection, remember, Neptune is at the 29th degree of Pisces. We have the ability to tap into deep parts of ourselves that we have long forgotten. What gives us a value that far exceeds what we are told that we are. Alcyone, also the fixed planet, the fixed star of that fixed star, also indicates, has like other keywords, and one of them is blindness. Now, in ancient times, when ancient astrologers would talk about blindness, people thought that they were going to go blind, but wonder if it's shaking up our lives so that we can find out where we have blind spots. Maybe it's shaking up our lives so we can develop our inner vision. Maybe it's shaking up our lives so we can reflect and go inside of ourselves to discover parts of ourselves that have been keeping us from achieving our highest goals and innate talents. So this period of time from now until next April, we are going to be clearing out the cobwebs of anything that is not aligned with our highest purpose and what we truly love and what within ourselves. So again, it's a review of what relationships are not giving you a sense of feeling complete within yourselves. What jobs are really unfulfilling? Where can we achieve what passion that we have within our hearts to give us a better sense of who we are and what we really want at a very deep level? So that's one aspect that's happening this week. Now, we also have Mercury going retrograde. And Mercury right now, as you can see, is in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about truth. And Mercury is going to retrograde back into the sign of Scorpio. So it gives us a sense to go into deep reflection. And that deep reflection is going to help us looking at where we have that self-worth that we were talking about with Uranus shaking up in our lives. It gives us that deep reflection and introspection so that we can gain a higher sense of truth of who we are. Now, it's interesting because Mercury is also in, it's very close to the fixed star of Antares. And Antares is all about sacred initiation. It's about jumping off the ledge and discovering the freedom within who we are. So it's really important at this time that we can go inside of ourselves and recapitulate our lives and start unraveling deep shadows that are deep with shadow in shadow work, deep within ourselves to bring us to a higher sense of truth. And as Mercury goes retrograde, is going to conjunct Mars again. So it's going to give us the passion to really achieve that goal of discovering who we are on a very deep level so that we can communicate what's truly important within us. On Tuesday and Wednesday, Jupiter is also going to go retrograde. Now, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Right now, it's in the sign of Cancer, and it's going to retrograde all the way back to its shadow point. And that shadow point we witnessed or felt at the end of July and the beginning of August. And that was right around Lion's Gate. So if you have a journal or something that you want to look at, you can look at what was happening in your life back in the end of July and August. But that's also a special point. So every point that we were talking about, Uranus conjunct Alcyone, waking us up, shattering things so we can wake up from our spiritual blindness. Mercury conjunct Antares, giving us the boost to jump off to what is our real truth at a very deep level. And Jupiter is also the planet of truth, retrograding back in Cancer, giving us the foundation to discover who we are at a very deep level. Cancer is all about security. It's all about our foundations. It's all about what nurtures us, what gives us a sense of security. And Jupiter is expanding that which shows us where we are not feeling all of that. Where are we not nurturing ourselves? Where do we it gives us the truth of where we are not experiencing true nurturing, true sense of safeness, all of that. So, Jupiter going retrograde and it back in Cancer, all the way back to the fixed star of Sirius. Sirius is all about our spiritual blueprint body. So, by expanding and changing how we perceive the truth within ourselves, we have the capacity to have greater insight of how we are going to achieve and reorganize the foundation from which which is a springboard to who we truly want to become. What is our truth? And how are we going to nurture that truth at a very deep level? So these are a few insights of what's coming in the week ahead, and actually a couple the next few months ahead. Because as I said, we are in the portal of review. And going back to Mercury again, what is very interesting, remember I said Uranus was going to be shaking up our vision to give us to find out where we have spiritual blindness. There's so much happening in the world right now, especially with what's happening with the government and then going in with three-eye atlas. There are so many opinions about what this body moving through our solar system is all about. So through the deep dive within ourselves, we do not have to rely on what we are being told about what this is, but what we perceive within ourselves. How do we trust ourselves to understand what this body moving through our solar system is? And interesting enough, as Mercury moves over Antares on December 19th as it goes direct, that is the time that three-eye atlas will be entering its closest passing of our planet Earth, right over the winter solstice. So these are some things to reflect upon. So if you are wishing for a more in-depth view of how all of this may affect you in your personal lives, you can go to Lightbody Academy and sign up for personal sessions with me. And we're going to see how this is actually activating your life, what you are perceiving to what your true talents are, where you want to expand and change your foundations to give you the greatest sense of truth and nurturing yourself at a very deep level, and how you can communicate that to those around you. So have a good day. Thank you so much. Oh.